Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond the Frame Live. My name is Dottie San Martin with QubicaAMF, and we are going on the journey of centers reopening throughout the U.S. It's not been the smoothest journey for some people, but we are still addressing the challenges, and we are also addressing many things that centers are sharing with us as praises and glories. So today I have the honor of being with Larry and with Heather from Myrtle Beach Bowl, South Carolina, and they are going to share with us their journey. I mean, being summertime in Myrtle Beach, I'm sure that you have challenges already in the bowling center during the summertime, but now we've got this pandemic that came to be in the midst of all of this and has just created havoc for everybody. But you guys have really been doing some interesting things, and y'all opened up back on the 22nd, is that correct?
Yes.
And, it was really interesting for me. I noticed that you guys were very informative. Y'all did a wonderful video that you shot yourself throughout the center and talked about the different procedures and what the customers could expect. And you put that on your social media, as well as right there from your homepage. Y'all have a COVID page that the customers can see exactly what you expect. And I thought that was just brilliant. So I'm curious, what has the feedback been from your customers?
Heather?
It has been, it is definitely, like you said, a challenge. A lot of people are either nervous to come out or they're just over it. So it's that balance of different opinions of people, but it's been so good to see familiar faces. You kind of feel, lately I was telling Dad, I feel like you can see the light. It just feels, you feel it, like energy of people starting to come in and getting comfortable with our procedures and knowing that we're doing the right thing of cleaning and social distancing. I really think is putting people a little bit at ease.
And you guys are currently at 50% capacity, am I correct?
That is correct. When we did the video, one of the purposes of that video, we weren't open at that time. We sent that video to the governor because he was worried about how bowling centers, there was a lot of talk on how bowling centers were going to react when they did get a green light. So I made sure that went to the local television stations. It played in Charleston, it played in Columbia, and went to the governor's office, trying to show him that we're more than capable of doing this right.
Very nice, very nice. And as well as it gave the customers a good perspective of what to expect. So when they walk into the center, they won't, hesitate when they see employees in masks and, and the like. So they'll be already prepared for that, which I think was brilliant. Speaking of masks, you currently require masks, or I should say you highly recommend masks, correct?
Well, our county has just mandated them.
Okay,
so
it is mandated now. Okay.
We've been mandated, and the local, what they have told us they'll do is up in the bowlers area and anywhere in the building, masks are required. In the bowlers area, masks will be optional. So when you're bowling, if it's too much, you don't have to wear it. If you want to wear it, you can, but once you step out of the bowler area, then masks are required. And believe it or not, that actually has gone incredibly smooth. People seem to just understand it. And I expected more problems. I'm surprised and happy to say we're not.
Oh, that's great. And y'all do require masks of your employees. Has there been any pushback on the employees, from the employees?
Heather?
No, I think that they really want to stay safe. We've been trying to make them feel at ease too. So I think there was a lot of nervousness coming back with, especially we are kind of in a hot spot. So I think they really want to wear their masks and gloves actually.
Well, and we chatted just a little bit before our call, but I do want to bring this up again because, the wearing a mask while you're working does pose some challenges because we are, our body language tells a lot. And I have seen some people that feel like when they strap that mask on, that gives them permission to not smile. And on your website, on your COVID page, you have pictures of employees that are doing some of the tasks, the COVID tasks that you have in place now. And I have to tell you, there is not a doubt in my mind. It's very obvious that all of them had a big smile on because it showed in their face. So I would like you to take that message back and give them a high five for smiling and making them very approachable. So, that is very important because bowling is a very social, we know our customers. It's a family feel, and that smile, by missing that smile on your face, it takes away a little bit. So it was nice to see that your employees were smiling underneath that mask. So, the other thing that was really refreshing for me is just browsing through your website. It looks like you've not skipped a beat. It looks like things are very lively and there's a lot of energy at Myrtle Beach Bowl and there's a lot of programs and there's something for everybody going on. And it looks like it's just, the place to be. So you are doing a sweeper now on, I believe it's Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Now, is this something new that you started?
Yeah, we had never did that. And the thought process on that was typically in the fall on Monday and Tuesday, I have a tremendous amount of classic bowlers. And with this being such a short season, putting together any kind of a big bucks league or something was no longer possible. So the concept was to create sweepers on Monday and Tuesday of different varieties. So they still had competition. It was a one night payout. There's no continuity from one night to the next, but they had a chance to kind of stretch their legs and get back to competing, and which is what so many of them miss so dearly. Not only they're bowling, but they're competing.
Sure. And so the participants, now you've been running this since you opened back up, you've been doing them?
For the last 2 weeks.
Okay. And how have the numbers been for you?
Surprisingly well. And it's a great variety of people. So, and people from larger net than we normally would get, people coming to travel to try it. We're going to be doing a bigger one on a Saturday during the day in August because we're going to actually put on a very large one. And that's gotten great play because people are looking for competition. Not all of them, but you got to make sure you're fitting that need. And as we know in the bowling industry, you've got many quadrants to play with. And the high competition needs a spot. And that's what we've tuned into on those nights.
Absolutely. And then have you had to modify any because of the guidance, the guidelines?
They do use every other lane. They don't, we don't use all the lanes. So that
keep
part.
at safe distance.
Okay.
And I know we were talking programs. Another kind of avenue that I didn't mention earlier though, but that's been doing good that might help others is we did times specifically just for seniors to come in. We did like a 2-hour block and only seniors are allowed to come in at that time. And we filled up usually each day we can only do half, but and then we did kids only time for families and kids, and
alternating Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We alternate those days so they each get 3, and we do it 2 hours before we really want to open, and they know it's just open to that, and that has been great crowds as much as we can handle because they feel safe.
Of course, and I would think that would be a program that you would probably continue even when your restrictions start to loosen up a little bit.
Yes.
And do you find that there's new faces coming into that, or is that re-engaging those existing customers?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like in the kids bowl free this morning, I probably had half of my youth league and then half new families that I've never seen. So I feel like it's almost 50-50.
Okay. And, we have had to make a lot of operational changes, doing things a little bit differently. Where do you see your focus being for the fall? Now, I know, Larry, you had shared with me that you have been meeting with your fall league secretaries. Can you share a little bit about where the fall leagues are, how they're forming right now and what changes are going to be necessary?
We are going to function under the concept that we're going to be at 50% for a while, whatever
Okay.
a while is. Being in a hot spot, November, December, January, I have no idea. So what we're meeting with the leagues is telling them this. We're going to stay at 50%, and depending on the size of the league, the classic leagues on Monday and Tuesday, they will bowl in shifts. They'll use up all the lanes, every other lane on a first shift, and the teams then will go have a second shift on those nights until we can get back to full capacity. The leagues on Wednesday and Thursday, more your fun leagues, the odds are they're not going to want to bowl second shift. Most of them are not. They're not that kind of bowler. They're not into it. They're just here for fun. So the concept probably is going to be during this period that they are going to bowl every other week. Half the league bowls this Wednesday, the other half bowls next Wednesday. Kind of that concept until we can go 100%. And we will base the entire length of the league more on dates than on number of weeks, because I don't know when we'll go back to full time. But they're going to have in their rules, once we're slated to go to 100%, then everything reverts back to that. So depending how many weeks I'm at part-time, you could end up bowling 22 weeks, 24 weeks. I have no idea.
Yes, and have you for the fall? Are these leagues that were there last year with you?
Yes.
And yeah, it's really interesting. I think you know the fact that we have to just kind of be creative and look at our customers. And you said something early on, Larry, about communication and how important that has been for you during this pandemic. I think that that's also the case with communicating with your leagues. Obviously, you've met with all of your league secretaries, and so that's a big deal as well. So share a little bit about the communication and how important it has been for you guys.
When we got shut down in March, one of the concerns, especially the employee level, was making sure they're okay. Food was scarce. We did some things to supplement that for them while we could before unemployment clicked in. We wanted to make sure they had the necessities. So that got dealt with. But then we ran Zoom meetings about every 10 days just to stay in touch, make sure everybody's good. Anyone's sick, anyone needs anything. And that worked really, really well. We had about 80% attendance on a volunteer basis. Then we had asked them if they would be kind enough to take on all the BPAA online programming for COVID and everything else, safe food handling, everything. So they did. And we gave them gift cards for every time they achieved something. And that worked out tremendous. And I've got walls of plaques now. So when I did get to open up, everybody was trained already. There was nothing. And, our state put out a signal for safe places to get food, a palmetto sticker. We were able to get one of the first ones because everybody was trained already. So it was really nice to have that. Many things happened, both the communication, the training, just was a wonderful thing. On the employee, on the customer end, we did an awful lot of having fun on Facebook, trivia questions, games. What did you think of this? And everybody would comment. Basically, just keeping customers engaged, because at that time, no one knew when we were going to open. No one had any clue.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's really important, and hopefully that's something that will continue. Communication, with the employees and with the customers, even after we go back to, well, I don't know. This is our new normal. So from this point forward, maybe I should say.
That might work, yes.
Yes. So let me ask you this. What about birthday parties? Has there been any changes in birthday parties?
Heather?
We actually had our first one last Thursday. So I can't tell you, the kiddo was so excited to have a birthday party, and so were we. But we kind of kept the family together. They only ended up having like 5 guests, so it is a very small. We were, we're gonna contemplate. A lot of people do packages for 10 people. I'm wondering if it needs to go back like back in the days where it's per person, just because you can't have a group of people, is some thoughts I have in my brain, but we haven't talked about it yet. But it went really well. It was nice and refreshing to have a party in here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they had a blast, but we kept them in a corner, not in a corner, but by themselves. And so they could all kind of be together. They were already together, so it was more, but it was refreshing.
Well, you mentioned that a lot of parties, and it's common in centers that there's a minimum of 10, or some centers it's a minimum of 8. And, I think that this has given us an opportunity to really think about that. And I like to call them fun size parties. Maybe we need to take a look at offering some more fun size parties for those smaller, more intimate groups that people now feel comfortable with, a handful of maybe the immediate family, but they're not quite to that comfort level yet for, their whole class.
Right.
So, to have these little options with a fun size party is appealing to a lot of people, because that I'll do, so, and some is better than none. So, that's very interesting. So good job on, that. Hopefully that's the first of many to come in the next few weeks. So let me ask you, the programs that you have going right now, have you really had to modify any of those, or have you pretty much left them as they were?
Oh my, I don't think there's anything that was the same. We modified everything.
Okay.
There was literally nothing, but whether it be the time, the price, what we had to offer, sometimes downsizing it so you could make it a little more affordable, simplifying it. I don't know there's one program we're running right now that is what we did. The concept is, but we modified everything else around it, because we had to find our norm. Every center's got to find, are you going to get more people during the day, afternoon, evening? Being in a tourist town, we have a different rhythm. They tend to come more in this time of the year, from middle of the afternoon into the late evening is more our rhythm. So families, seniors want to come where it's safe. People that have got off the beach are looking for something different. You have to find the rhythm and appeal to so many different modes, but there's nothing that stayed the same. The concept stayed the same, but we just stripped down to bare needs and then built based on where we were putting it.
And Larry, the message that I hear from that is that you really evaluated the customer that you were seeing in the beginning coming in, and you were evaluating your business thoroughly and modifying, based on the situation as it was at that time. And I think that that's something that, those that are not yet open or getting ready to open should be very mindful of, really, dissecting your business and figuring out who do you need to bring in, and how am I going to do that where they're comfortable.
Dottie, Heather will tell you that when we were opening up that week, that was the strangest week I can remember, and I don't have any clue when. I've been doing this a tremendous amount of years, and I don't think I can remember a time that I started working in our center and had actually no clue what was going to work, what they would want, and realizing, as we spoke once before, I can't spend my usual time letting it permeate and see how it'll grow. Heather knew, and the staff knew, you may get 2 days notice before I change it and change it and change it, because we can't waste labor. We can't waste that opportunity. So they put up with me constantly modifying until we kind of got it where we felt focused. That took about 3 weeks. And with each program, that's not enough time, but it had to be best guess. But you really, when you first open, it's the strangest feeling in your life, because if you've been doing it for a while, normally, if you put something out there, what's going to happen. We had no idea who's going to come in. Were they going to be afraid to come in? Were they going to come in and say, just go full blast? Who cares? I want to have fun. We just had no idea. So
Well, and to be able to recognize that you have to change and you have to be able to change on the fly, that's important. If you wait, you're going to get left behind. And I think that's probably been a big portion of the success of you reopening has been that you've constantly massaged the offering and what you're doing to make sure that you are delivering on what the customer wants, and that's huge.
highly hard to do because it's not something I'm comfortable doing. I do change, but not at that speed and not
Yeah.
with so little data to feel it on. 2, 3 days waiting for a program to click is not enough normally.
That's right. Well, and change is scary, and change doesn't always work right the first time. So, probably since you've reopened, you've made more changes than you made in the last 10 years.
Oh, definitely.
Out of necessity.
Totally.
Well, Heather and Larry, if you had one thing that you would like our viewers to take away from this call, we have, keep in mind, we have some customers that have been open for a while. We have some customers that have not yet opened, and we have customers that have been opened for, less than a day and have closed back down. What would you want them to take away from the call today?
Heather, I'll let you go first.
For me, I would say, it's definitely, I think we all agree that it's rough and different. And, but, I think especially bowling people, like we talked, it's, bowling people, it's in the blood. So we've been through things, and, there's hope, and it was nice. Today I had a full house of kids, so, of every other lane, but, there is hope, and it is different, but we all are here together. And I really just believe that, doing stuff like this and seeing what others are doing, is important, because we can all work together as an industry.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
I'm going to break the mold and give you 2 words: communication and adjustment. Communicate with your employees and your customers, and be ready to adjust faster than you ever have.
Wonderful. Well, those are 2 good words to leave our viewers with. Absolutely. Well, first of all, I appreciate you both taking time out of your day to be here on our show today. I know that this is going to be very valuable for a lot of people in this industry. At QubicaAMF, we've tried to put a number of resources available to help centers. And so if we have anybody watching that has not visited the QubicaAMF customer resource page, I highly recommend going there. You can find all kinds of tools. You can find a marketing kit. You can find links to recorded videos and webinars and interviews, tech support, reopening calls. You can just find so much information there. So if you have not had a chance to explore that, I encourage you to do so. You never know what you're going to find on there that's going to help you out. We also have opened up our Best Extras blog. If you're not a member of the blog, you can find out how to join from the customer resource page. And then also next on the 20th, we have another webinar coming up. I'm sorry, it is on the 22nd, July the 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern. We have a webinar called Not Falling Behind, Prepping for Your Fall Calendar, where we're going to meet with and have a panel of centers and how we are going to prepare for the fall, and what are we doing to the programming, and what can we expect for the fall, and how's our marketing calendar going to change as a result of this. So make plans. You can also sign up for that on our customer resource page. Just keep clicking around. You never know what you're going to find. Again, Heather and Larry, thank you so much for being with us today. I will continue to follow your center on both social media and the website, because as I said earlier, you guys don't miss a beat, and there's so much energy there, and you really do a great job. So from all of us at QubicaAMF, We thank you so much for sharing your time with us, and we hope you have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Take care.